Hello, I just wanted to show off a new feature that we're adding to Wartable, which is adding some keyboard shortcuts to help speed up gameplay. So if you've played with Wartable, you know that I've really focused on trying to make everything intuitive and also mobile friendly. But I understand that sometimes playing games can take 2 hours, and so any speed ups that we can make to help speed up gameplay on desktop computers seem worthwhile. So I'm adding in some key bindings that will hopefully help speed up gameplay. So I'm going to show off some of these updates and looking forward to getting your feedback. So if you want to see the list of key bindings that are available, you can click on this keyboard shortcuts icon in the left menu or hit the question mark key. Um, so let's dig in and show some of these. So the first one I'm going to show is just rolling. So if you just hit the number keys 1 through 9, you can roll that many dice. So if you just want to do quick rolling, you can do that. We also added shift roll to add a roll with damage. So the goal here is that if you're making attacks, you can do a roll, and then if you are doing a damage roll, you can label that just so that it makes it easier to look back at the log and kind of remember, oh, this was an attack roll and this was a damage roll. Okay, so next thing I want to show is just map keys. So you can use the WASD keys to move the map around, and then also Shift minus and Shift plus to zoom in, Shift 0 to kind of reset the map to this fully zoomed out view. So hopefully that helps if you want to use the keyboard to move around the map. And um, yeah, so all right, next thing I want to show is some things that are related to a single model. Added um, the uh, you can use the arrow keys to move. So if you want to move forward 1, 2, 3 inches, turn left like that, and you can hold down the shift key to do finer movements. So if you want to do use that, you can use the keyboard to do that. Also added a new key binding of enter to confirm that movement, and if you had multiple movements, you could hit shift enter to confirm all of them. Okay, there are a couple more key bindings for the model. You can use Control C to copy. So if you want to have a second copy of a model, you can do that. You can use Delete to remove a model. So if you want to easily, like quickly removing models, hopefully that's helpful. Um, and we also added some new key bindings related to health and focus. So if you hit minus, it's going to prompt you to subtract health. If you hit plus, it's going to prompt you to add health. Um, Similarly, for the left and right brackets, for removing in this case, essence, and if you have souls, you can use shift brackets to add and remove, or sorry, yeah, souls or corpses, you can add and remove those using shift plus the brackets. Okay, and then let's see. I guess I also want to show how this works for some of the more complex cases. So if you do the minus key for a warjack now, you can say I want to do 25 points to the right side in column 5, or let's do column 3. Okay, so you can see here that it automatically applied that, as well as automatically showing that the right system is out. So hopefully that's really helpful as far as quickly marking damage. I hope that's going to speed up gameplay. And again, these same focus keys work the same way for warjacks and warbeasts. All right, yeah, let me check my cheat sheet here. So we have the map. Oh yeah, one last thing I wanted to show is just clock. We added a keyboard shortcut of spacebar to switch the clock. So if you hit spacebar, it's gonna kind of bump the clock over to your opponent. Spacebar again to bump it back, and you can hit shift and spacebar to pause the clock. Um, so hopefully those will help. And I think again, our goal with these hotkeys was to have kind of a set of hotkeys for the things that you're going to do 50 times a game or more. So marking health, moving models, uh, rolling, etc. All right, so that's kind of the core of the key bindings that we added. But there's one more thing that I'm super excited to show you that I think is going to be kind of the foundation for some of the more powerful keyboard access in Wartable. So what we also added was, some of you have used the Add Effects menu that I recently released, and the goal here is to just let you easily add and remove effects from your models. And uh, as I was working with this, my thought process was it'd be nice to have a keyboard shortcut for adding effects like this, potentially adding models, maybe let's say you want to throw down a spray template. And the question I was asking myself is, what would intuitive keyboard shortcuts be for adding a model or adding a widget or adding an effect, right? I mean, it could be like E for effect and W for widget and M for model. So I mean, there could be we could kind of go that direction, but my thought process there is that you're probably going to end up looking down at your keyboard and trying to remember what those were, especially since those aren't the kind of things that you do 50 times a game. Um, so what I did instead, that I'm hoping is again going to be the foundation for a lot of future enhancements with Wartable, is added what I'm calling command mode. So the command mode is triggered by slash. That's kind of inspired by things like Slack and Discord, where slash is for triggering commands. So if you hit slash, it's going to pop up this command mode. And what the command mode is actually a combination of the add effect menu, the add model menu, and the add widget menu, etc. So if I want to add a spray template, I just type spray, hit enter, and it's going to throw down a spray template. In this case, because I had the adjudicator selected, it's throwing down a spray template that's centered on the adjudicator. And if I want to summon a tormentor, I just type torm, click torm, and I can hit enter, or click, and it's going to drop down a tormentor. Similarly, if I want to add fire to this fire effect to this adjudicator, type fire, hit enter, and now I can add that. Similarly, if I hit slash again, I can remove that fire effect. So my hope is that obviously there's a little bit of an art to this, getting things right. You'll notice if you type fire, I'm not doing an exact match. It's kind of a fuzzy match where you can type parts of these words and it'll match anything in there. So what's kind of cool about that is, let's say, for example, I want to have add a 14-inch aura to my adjudicator to show the threat range on the rockets. If I type aura 14, it's gonna add a 14-inch aura to this adjudicator. Now that's not very easy to see, so I can type aura blue, and then that will change my aura to blue. I can do toggle aura, that'll toggle it off, toggle aura again, toggle it back on. So again, I think I'm really hopeful that this menu is going to be, this command mode is going to be a way for people who play a lot of Wartable and want to have it, go add things really quickly. A couple other things I wanted to just point out is, let's say I have an effect that's not already in Wartable. We have this kind of shortcut for adding custom effects and tokens. So if I have let's say a spell just on this adjudicator, I can do it that way. If I wanted to use a token on the table, I can do that. So if there's something that is not included in the effects library, or you want to use a token, you can use the command menu. So if it's not recognized, it'll give you these options as well. All right, I hope you explore the command menu and find some exciting things, or I hope that works well for you. And again, I hope these keyboard shortcuts are intuitive and really help you speed up gameplay, so that those of you who love playing a lot of games on Wartable can get up to can play as quickly and accurately as possible. Thanks for watching, and looking forward to your feedback.